everyone, I am Malia Heath of POPOUT Zine, a multimedia art company based here in Paris, France. And today we're at Yalla, a store that we collaborate with every month to feature a new artist based here in Paris or across the globe. So Yalla is a secondhand store that believes in less waste, more style, and of course POPOUT believes in that. That's why we have this beautiful artist here today, Marina Spasova. So I'll give you a little intro about Marina. So Marina, painter, illustrator, writer, poet, singer, I didn't know you were a singer, actress, and art historian based in Paris. A multicultural, multidisciplinary artist. She has lived in Bulgaria, the US, and France. A decade in each place has fostered a sense of adaptability, and she draws inspiration from observing human experience, spirituality, and history. Marina is an AUP Alumna, class of 2016, the coordinator of the Monttessuy Center for the Arts, as well as the university's exhibition space technician. So let's welcome Marina. Thanks for being here, Marina. We're excited to have you and showcase you.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Marina, you're based in Paris with roots in the US, Chicago, and Bulgaria. So how has that affected your art and your creativity, or has it?
I started painting when I was very small. I think it was a sort of a sense of, I guess, rebelliousness, and I started engraving things on my grandma's, in the plaster of my grandma's villa, which I got very praised for. And then when I started doing the same thing at my other grandparents' house, the problem needed to be solved.
Okay, is that enough is enough?
Yeah. So I've been in lessons, drawing lessons, painting lessons since I was 3 years old. I came to France for a cultural exchange, a language exchange. Bless you.
Thank you.
And when I came back, I decided that intuitively something pulled me back to Paris and that I want to stay here.
How old were you?
I was 19 when I showed up, freshman year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what made you want to stay and live in Paris?
I just felt, for the first time, maybe I had a sense of belonging and creating my own community. That was really it. It was just intuition that told me, listen, I need to stay.
Right. No, I feel that because I've been in Paris for 7 years and I don't ever want to leave. And I think intuition is very important as an artist. Can you speak to how intuition has played a role in the things that you've created?
I think whether it comes to subject matter or what you want to do and when you want to do it, I think every decision is intrinsically linked to the next, right? And whether it's about people or circumstances, I think that I've always intuitively wanted to be free.
Yeah.
And I've always been willful and always stood up for myself and made sure that nobody can tell me what to do.
Period.
And when to do it and how to do it. All sorts of people have, very different opinions about your life and how you should live it and about your art and what you should paint and how you should paint. And, I've been told many things throughout my life. But I think that I've always sort of had a sense of knowing who I am and what I want and that kind of sort of oblivious confidence.
Yeah, I think that's that childlike mentality that makes the artist great for me.
Yeah, I think people have tried, but nobody's ever been able to root that out of me, and I've always been very stubborn and protective of myself and what I want.
Period. I hear when I read your bio and just knowing you and that you do a lot. And what I mean by a lot is the word multidisciplinary artist. So from singing to acting to painting. First of all, what's your favorite medium?
I love to paint.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But I mean, everything's a mode of self-expression, right? And I think that all the different artistic disciplines are very much intertwined and connected.
Yeah, and how do you know which path to take? Because there's so many avenues that you can take as a creative. And how do you know, okay, I'm going to be, do you go I'm a singer today or I'm a painter today? How do you walk in that path that you're supposed to walk, you know?
I think you're everything all at once.
Oh, beautiful.
You know?
What a beautiful answer.
You know, I'm painting and I'm singing and I'm always like memorizing monologues and poems, and you know, it's I don't know how to answer that.
No,
I
but
think it's
well said though.
You're just always everything.
Yeah.
And I think I'm most comfortable painting in that mode of self-expression, and so that's kind of the avenue that I'm on.
Yeah, and I think it's beautiful because Marina's paintings are here at Yalla for the entire month of April. And Marina, your paintings, when I brought your paintings into the store, everybody's jaw was on the ground. Like the way that they were framed, the picture with the woman she painted a beautiful image. I'm going to have like a video of the painting, but a beautiful woman with her back out. What inspired these paintings, the selection of these paintings inside the store?
I'm always trying to challenge myself with subject matter. I try to paint things that I haven't painted before. And the painting that you talked about is actually why I got shadow banned on Instagram.
What?
Because I'm a pornographer, don't you know?
Okay. They play too much.
Yeah, which is, you know, great for naturalistic expression, but not so great for the algorithm. Yeah. And they told me to take it down, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's art.
It's
and
art.
I've written like many like impassioned messages, like what would Gustave Courbet say about this?
Exactement.
Like, right? Like Peter Paul Rubens. Have you ever been to a museum? And I don't think they appreciated it very much.
Yeah. And how do you like combat that algorithm? Like, I'm going to come back to the store, but you said something interesting, like having the algorithm take down your work, or the importance of showing your work without filter. Like, what is that relationship like?
Well, I just don't believe in censorship. And I think in avenues and ways that like I feel like I'm censored, I'm very resistant to that. I always want to be able to express myself freely. And in terms of algorithm, I just kind of, you know, don't care.
Period. Like, you can't care.
I think interpersonal relationships, meeting people in person, having people see your work in person, and like the energy that the pieces carry is so much more important than, you know, somebody like sitting there and scrolling.
Exactly. I feel the same way.
Okay, great.
I feel the same exact way. No, and I think that's why POPOUT Zine got started, so that we could have moments like this where, you know, people coming out on a Saturday and being able to experience your work in person, because it's very powerful. You have the painting of the Notre Dame, the one that's burning, that, I mean, we were here in that period, and I feel the emotion in that painting. I mean, it's easy to say, what sparked that interest to paint that, but what was your head frame when you was like, okay, I'm going to recreate this moment?
I was on a balcony in the 13th when I was watching it burn, and I think that there was something very powerful about that, like, collective moment of prayer, like watching all those people on the bridges just watching and like praying for rain or like something, you know, and like the firemen were so heroic, of course, but that moment of uncertainty where like we didn't know right until like the morning whether or not the structure is going to be sound, and whether or not, you know, this monument can be saved.
Right.
And my friend's little daughter said something very wonderful, you know, to like comfort her mom. She was like, Notre Dame n'est pas dedans. Like, Our Lady is not inside. Like, nobody is inside. Nobody's hurt, right? And I think just hope and faith
and kids are so goddamn poignant, aren't they?
I know.
They know exactly what to say.
I know.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like the impetus. The next morning, I went and I purchased like all the magazines and all the newspapers, and I used that, like, images from that as reference.
Wow.
Wasn't it like the 14th?
Yeah.
Like tomorrow.
Right, that's very timely. Crazy. Wow. Okay, so now we're going to take it to our audience. A little Q&A for our audience if you all have any questions. And we'll ask more we'll let the audience ask more throughout the interview. So do we have any questions for Marina? All right, tell us, Maddie.
So I'm curious about what you do if you ever get into a creative rut. Like you're in the middle of a painting and then you're not feeling it, or you're not feeling the inspiration. If there's anything you do in particular kind of get yourself out of that headspace and back into the creative process?
I think you switch gears, you take your time. You do something else. You go for a walk. You realize you need rest, maybe, or maybe you're not prepared to do the next steps, and there's always a reason for that. I think just being kind to yourself and
that's important.
yeah, being kind and patient, and knowing that everything's gonna come, when it should and as it should. So less pressure, more fun.
Amazing. Thank you.
Less pressure, more fun.
Yeah.
I love that. Any more questions from the audience? Feel free. Yay.
I noticed that inside all of your work is figural, and I was wondering what your relationship is to abstraction. Do you find it a useful visual language, or what?
I think like when I work with water-based media, and that's something that I also do with when I'm sort of like in a rut, just to have fun. I love doing like abstract color, watercolors. I don't know, I think I have a comfortable relationship with it, but I think that I am straightforward and I like people to know what I mean and what I'm painting. So I think there's a time and a place for everything, and I embrace, all different kinds of expressions.
Beautiful. Well said. Thank you. Any other questions?
If I'm not mistaken, you make prints as well, right? And so I was wondering, do you find, since you say that when you get into a creative rut, you try all different things, have you found that printmaking has helped your painting and vice versa?
Absolutely. I think the process of printmaking is so beautiful because you have a matrix and you can really sort of do whatever you want with it in terms of like colors. You can make like chinkole prints, you can do all sorts of things, and within the process, like each print that you pull off the press looks different. You never ink things quite the same way. You never like take off the ink quite the same way. So I think it absolutely helps with painting.
Two ideas for painting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. I can't wait to see more.
And how has your work changed over time in that? Like, in having all of these things interconnect, how has your work changed over time? Or do you feel like it has been? I mean, evolution, I guess.
Well, I think I'm a lot more patient with myself, and I think like the oil painting as a medium, or like printmaking, like all the different processes to prepare your matrix for the print, I think it takes time, and I am a lot more comfortable now doing whatever I want.
Yeah.
And so I think that's just kind of how I've changed.
And I think that's important.
I think I'm kind of growing up,
You growing up?
No,
That's all.
it's okay. Unfortunately not, but whatever.
Yeah. Any more questions from our audience?
What is a piece that has taught you the most about yourself?
Oh, we getting deep. Well, tell me about it.
I think it's definitely the cafe that I did, because it took me like 6 months to paint, and I was in a very precarious situation when I started that painting, and I didn't know if I could draw a straight line, and I started, with like no lines in the canvas.
Wow.
So it was very difficult. And there were moments where I was like, you know what, I don't know if this is gonna work, and I like pushed through. There was a period where I had painted like 5 days straight, and it was sort of like maybe midway through, and it just kind of looked like bars, like a prison, sort of the mind. And then I was meeting a friend to go to the Fondation Louis Vuitton, and walking to by the canal, I kind of felt, I don't know, it was like a weird sense of like claustrophobia. Like I felt like everything was like closing in on me, and I just turned around and I went home.
Yeah.
I was like, well, we'll do this another day. But yeah, I think there was like a lot of like pain and uncertainty and hope during that time period.
Yeah.
And I think,
That one's such a powerful piece. It stands out really, like, it's very exact. So, I mean, no one ever knows what someone is going through. That's why I think art is so important, because you never know what someone is going through when they're creating or what they're giving the world, the artist. So, bravo, chapeau, and bon courage and bon continuation. Okay, so I think we have one more question from an audience member, and yeah.
The intimate size of your work here is really beautiful and moving. And I understand you put this scale in here because of the environment. But I was wondering, do you work at a larger scale too? Do you have bigger work?
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to have a large studio at my disposal, and it's going to be a long summer of painting. I'm excited for this next season. I'm working on a large-scale series tied to my cultural roots.
Oh,
yeah.
Bulgaria? Like rooted in Bulgarian?
Yeah, folklore and tradition.
Oh, wow.
It's exciting.
That is exciting, and I can't see
excited.
what you come up with. Like, I'm excited to see. So before we get going, I would love to ask, do you have any advice for other artists, painters, multidisciplinary artists? Like, what is something that really sticks with you that you can share with our community that you feel like can take them a long way?
I mean, first and foremost, always follow your intuition and know, your light guides you wherever you go. Never to be afraid to show up and show out and be yourself, but also to get to know yourself and become comfortable with who you are. I think everyone should spend some time alone and in solitude and in reflection of themselves and their spirit and what their purpose and their mission is in life, and don't let anybody tell you what to do.
Yeah. Don't let anybody tell you what to do. You heard it here first from Marina Spasova herself. Come by and visit Yalla for the entire month to see her work in person and buy her work, because we have to support artists, because it's the most important thing, one of the most important things in this life, to support artists. Support Marina. We're closing out, but no other questions.
Is your art in collections?
Yeah. I'm very fortunate to be collected. I'm part of the Marts collection. I'm part of the American University of Paris collection, and I just had a commission picked up by a private collector last week.
Wow.
It's a like 60 by 60 piece. It's very exciting.
Congratulations.
Right?
Thank you so much.
We're so proud of you, Marina.
Thank you.
Like, we're all so proud of you. All of us are here today to support you and
Yes.
see you continuously succeed in what you do, and we all know you will. And it's a blessing. We're all so honored at POPOUT to have your work inside of Yalla, because I think it just elevates, your work elevates any space that it enters. So keep up the great work. And
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm very grateful to you, and thank you.
Bravo.
I'm so blessed.
Bravo. Thank you, everybody. Merci à tous. Thank you, Khoi.
Thank you, Khoi.
Thank you, Khoi. You're welcome. Oh, thank you, everybody.